Okay, so a little over a year ago, did two videos, one on aiming and the other on um, rear gunners. Uh, I always felt it was incomplete. It really didn't tell you how to get there. And I see so many players overlooking uh, how to get there. I mean, I've watched them in their videos go to the end of the game, pull up the crew thing, or the crew thing pops up. It shows them to add these many research points to their crew, and they just blow by it, totally ignore it. Well, I picked the B-29 as an example because for me, the number one thing, even above getting the plane uh, together, like spading the plane, is the crew, especially on something with rear gunners, because you need those rear gunners. So here I have the pilot all the way up, 5.3. Now, you're maybe asking, well, what good does this do? Well, I'll tell you why. It used to be 4, 5 years ago on War of Thunder. You could pretty much ignore this and it was okay. But then Gaijin changed the meta. And even if you had your plane fully spaded, it still flew like crap. Your crew was horrible. And they made this the important part of flying your plane easily, properly, and everything. So you got to have your pilot all the way up. Defensive armament. Now, this is the rear gunners and your waist gunners, but it mainly affects the rear gunners. Okay, in the turrets. Okay, so fire accuracy. This has to at 5.3 or 5 plus 3. And the reason it's at 5 plus 3 is because it's at expert. To me, it's worth spending the money to get my rear gunners up to expert. It would actually be even more worth my money to upgrade to ace. Now, if you leave it down to your rear gunner, your defensive people being down here, fire precision, number of gunners, you don't have the proper number of gunners. I always put 5, even if they only have 3. Your fire accuracy, fire precision, G tolerance, stamina, vitality. Okay. If you have it down around here, as you can see reading this, it increases the traverse speed of the turret. How quickly does your turret turn? Increases the maximum burst length by 3 times. So your plane might only be your turret might be turning too slow. It gives too slow a burst or too small a burst to do any damage. And it doesn't shoot far enough. By having it up to here, firing at a target up to 275% or 55% in SB, well, I play SB simulator, and it increases the target distance and the leading speed and the turret return. And with this totally up to here, it increases up to, what is it, 675 meters? 675 meters, that's 1,800 feet, 1,900 feet, 2,000 feet in there, 1,900, 2,000 feet. Holy crap, man. You know, the other way, like I always see a bomber when somebody attacks him before I get to him and how his bullets curve off and fall off. That's because I know he hasn't even touched this. It's the last thing on his mind. Okay, look at fire precision. This skill allows to reduce the scattering of endpoint points of the gunners. I mean, it's not like a shotgun spread. It's a tighter mix. It's tighter all the way around. So why would you want your bullets going all over the place and being a shotgun rather than having a tight pattern? So this cuts down that scattering effect by 2 times in SB and 2.5 times in like what's that other thing called? Anyway, I never play it. I even forgot what it's called. Anyway, most of us play RB or SB. It increases the burst length up to a third when fully researched. Increases the distance at which the gunners open fire in arcade, that's it, arcade battles, by a margin of 8%. Increases the chance of simultaneous fire and leading the target just like fire accuracy. Now, this only applies when the gunner is controlled by AI. So that's a key point too. Like I have automatic pilot on mine if I go into the gunner position so that it flies by itself, but that's all screwed up. They totally screwed that up. The plane goes into a dive, it's uncontrollable. Hell. So because of that, I like to stay in the pilot seat and let my AI take over. Well, my AI is going to be far more accurate if I'm up here. What about G tolerance? Okay, so you pull in a few Gs, like say in a 410, and you're pulling like 10 Gs, and your gunner can't even hang on to the gun or stay in a seat because of the high Gs. Well, having this up here on expert, peak Gs adds up to 6.2 Gs he can handle, and plus 0.5. So peak negative, if you do a negative G, minus 2.8 Gs he can handle. What about stamina? What if he gets shot and hit by a bullet? Does he instantly die because he doesn't have the stamina to withdraw to withstand being shot? Again, stamina return time, 0.75, 2.5 seconds tops. Time until stamina loss, 3.3 seconds. Time until stamina loss at negative G, 2 seconds. What about vitality? Health of crew members, as well as speed of the recovery. The longer you're in the air, the longer he has to fight. Your gunner has to fight and dodge off enemies. They're going to get tired quicker. So you have to have your crew up. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff you need to be concentrating on. Like I said, if I'm flying any plane with rear gunners or waist gunners, this is my number one priority. What about logisticals, repair speed? How long is it going to take to get those guns back up and working again? Reload speed. How long is it going to take you to get it reloaded? 4.5 seconds, right? Weapons maintenance. Are you going to take a few shots? The next thing your gun's overheated and you have to wait till it to cool down, and by then you're dead. I mean, these are all stuff you need to be looking at. Qualification. Like I have this on expert, but I swear most people are still running around with their crews down to here. Never touch them. I see it all the time. And the pilot, well, you even if you do have your rear gunners up and their stamina up and the gun's turret speed and refiring and traverse speed, blah blah blah, you need your pilot because you still have to do evasive actions, right? You got to be able to withstand G-force. So in my bomber, he can handle 8 Gs. The bomber pilot, the stamina is 8. Everything is 8. It's up here. What good is it if the rear gunner is kicking butt, but you fall asleep at the wheel because it's been too hard to work for you. I'm simping out. Okay, logistical services, as I said, repair speed, repair rank, reload, and weapon maintenance. So that was what was really bothering me about that thing I did on the rear gunners. Is you've got to do that. You've got to get your crews up. It's when I've been playing for 8 years, and that's one of the first things I learned. And that was before Gaijin came in with the meta that, you know, you have to have your crews up. It doesn't matter if you're playing a spaded or not. If you do not have your crews built up, you're going to fly like crap. Your gunners aren't going to be doing anything. You're going to be useless. You're going to get killed every time. And like I said, if I'm in a video or if I'm in a game and I see a rear gunner shooting and the bullet curves off almost right after leaving the gun, then I know that guy is, well, he's been either too lazy or whatever to build his crews up. So this allows me to stay piloting the plane to do evasive actions and concentrate on what I'm doing so that the rear gunners can kick your butt. I don't have to leave the pilot seat, you know? So it's just very frustrating that I've seen so many of my friends even on here who've been playing up to a year longer than me, and I've been playing 8 years, and they still just totally ignore their crew status. It should be priority, number one priority. I have a friend that I love dearly, and I'm always teasing him and saying to him, gee, just think of how much better you've been able to do that if you had your crew, your pilot up at ace or even expert. You know, but every time I watch them at the end of the game, they go and they check out their scores, and then it'll show that, oh, you can build up your crew this far, and they'll just bypass it, won't do anything with it. Do not ignore your crews. It's important. And even more important on anything that has a rear gunner like a bomber. Okay? Anyway, I wanted to do that. I'm just going to start rambling and going on and on. I hope I made my point. So this is a short and sweet video. I'll try to leave a link. Well, actually, I'm going to do those 2 videos over. They were horrible. I did those videos in planes, well, the aiming one especially, when Gaijin was messing with flight models, and they were just horrible. Couldn't control the plane. I was embarrassed. I shouldn't even put it out there. But they seem to be settled down now since I've been back playing. So I think I'll redo those aiming one, and I'll try to see if I can find any videos that show the difference. Now, there's something. There's a good point I have to bring up. There is still a difference between you using your AI crew, fully spaded AI crew, and cheaters. You still only have like a 600 and some odd meter range. So when you see a guy shooting over 2-3 kilometers, his shots are as straight as arrow, you know that jerk is cheating. And the reason cheaties or whatever it's called is supposed to stop cheaters and catch cheaters doesn't work is because on a bomber, you can turn that on and off. You can turn that off all the time you're flying until somebody comes up and attacks you, takes a few pot shots at you, and you switch it on, shoot them down 3 kilometers behind you, which is impossible because of bullet drop and physics. Yes, they do have physics here on bullets. There's many videos on War Thunder showing you the physics based on the caliber and weight of the bullet. So if you see a guy shooting you at 3 kilometers straight as an arrow and hitting your pilot or your engine, you know he's a hacker and a cheater. And as soon as he hits you and kills you, he shuts it off. Well, unless you take a video of it and have proof of it, it's not going to show up on your anti-cheating software because he can turn it on or off. It's the people that fly around with it on all the time that get caught, not the guy in the bomber, because he can shut it on, turn it on, and shut it off. So I want to point that out too. So I'll try to add clips or whatever to a new rear gunner video showing the difference between somebody who's got their crew all the way up, somebody who doesn't even touch their crew, and a hacker. so you notice to recognize the difference and report it. And as for aiming, I'm going to do that one over again because the planes I picked couldn't fly at all. They were just horrible. Just horrible to control. So I want to do those two over. So I hope this video answers some of your questions and you will get busy on working your crews, especially your defensive armament on bombers and anything with a rear gunner or waist gunners. Okay? Anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. God bless. Talk to you soon. Making a new video, hopefully in the near future. I'm glad to see my one on Japan. Where is it? I'm glad to see my one on Japan featuring this guy, T2 Early, is getting so many views. Please go watch it. Click like and click subscribe. And God bless you all. Have a good day.